The year was 1977. Star Wars opened in the theaters, becoming the highest-grossing film of all time. 45,000 fans were in attendance to watch the first game in Toronto Blue Jays history as the Jays played the Chicago White Sox in the snow. The movie Saturday Night Fever significantly helped popularize disco music that dominated the radio airwaves that year. On the campus of the University of Western Ontario, the 1977 Western Mustangs football team began the defense of its 1976 Vanier Cup. Training camp consisted of 22 practices in the first 7 days. Cutting the team down to 62 players, the roster was bolstered by some high-profile transfers, adding depth at many key positions. As the team broke camp, there was a high expectancy for the Mustangs to repeat as national winners. Led by head coach Darwin Samodiuk, the coaching staff included Bill Emery, Larry Haler, Clark Samways, Reg Richter, and scouting coordinator Ed Scorgi. Cruising through the first half of the season with an undefeated 3-0 record, those first 3 games saw the Stangs score 150 points and allowed only 10. The awesome display of offense was a well-balanced attack, built upon the offensive line of Bestard, MacDonald, Richardson, Davis, Milne, and ends Labette and Quinn. The offense was littered with legendary names like Bone, Wilson, Perrell, Arnott, Tripp, Follis, Hempel, and Rozelowski. It took a field goal with 14 seconds left in regulation time by the Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks to secure a 19-17 win, knocking the Mustangs off the undefeated list. Wins over Waterloo and Windsor set the stage for the showdown of the homecoming game against the U of T. In front of 11,000 fans, it would be a winner-take-all for first place in the Western Division. Kicker and second-string quarterback Paul Ford came off the bench to replace injured quarterback Jamie Bone. Playing with a hyper-extended finger, Ford hooked up with tight end Craig Labette for 120 yards receiving. Bill Rozelowski added 2 touchdowns, and the defense stopped a last-minute Toronto march on the Western 7-yard line, resulting in a 19-12 victory and the securing of first place in the division. Going into the semifinal game against the Windsor Lancers, the Mustangs were bombarded with injuries. Craig Labette shone with 8 receptions for 183 yards, but Western still found themselves down with less than 2 minutes on the clock and facing third down on Windsor's 4-yard line. Trailing 13-7, quarterback Ford rolled out of the pocket and hit running back Rozelowski in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown with 1:52 seconds to go. Windsor then took the ball down to the Western 22-yard line. Facing a 3rd and 1, they missed a field goal that the Mustangs safely returned out of the end zone for a 14-13 victory. Beating Wilfrid Laurier in the West Division final with partial claim to the Yates Cup on the line, the Mustangs played a great defensive game, beating the Golden Hawks 22-17. A defense that had battled all year long was anchored by stalwarts named Zvek, McNamara, Riopel, Barrow, and Watson. It boasted a linebacking core that was the best in the country, with the likes of McKinley, Priestner, Curry, and Noble. And the secondary kept the league's new passing games in check, with athletes like Kirilski, Koshel, Infantino, Rigg, and Curran. Hosting the Forest City Bowl at J.W. Little Stadium in the national semifinal, the Mustangs outlasted the Calgary Dinosaurs in a back-and-forth struggle where Western hung on for a 24-22 victory, led by Jamie Bone's 3 long touchdown passes, and the defense was bolstered by Mike Curry's 2 interceptions and linebacker John Priestner's play that resulted in him being named game MVP. Returning to the College Bowl to face the Acadia Axemen, the Mustangs put together one of the most dominant performances by any team in a national championship, with suffocating defense and explosive offense in the air and on the ground. The Mustangs overwhelmed their opponents from the opening kickoff. Jamie Bone went 16 for 20 through the air for 275 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nigel Wilson hauled in 114 yards on 5 receptions, scoring 2 TDs, and the remarkable Bill Rozelowski rushed for 177 yards, becoming the first back-to-back winner of the Ted Morris Trophy as the game MVP. Back-to-back was the Mustang mantra, and a 48-5 thrashing of Acadia was the result. When head coach Darwin Samodiuk was asked about the victory, he said, "It's sweeter the second time around. You have to be that much better the second time around because everyone is out to get you." Team captain McKinley accepted the Vanier Cup on behalf of his teammates, a group of players who Larry Haler said cared deeply about one another, played for one another, and shared each experience, good and bad, as a collective. They played with an energy, sense of pride, determination, and will to win that was their destiny. The 1977 Dream season meant the Mustangs had captured their 4th Vanier Cup in a 7-year span, making them the most dominant college football team in the country. The 1977 Vanier Cup champions, all Mustang legends.